Sam, great to speak with you today. Off the bat here, would love to hear a little bit about your story on kind of leaving and starting your own ORA here just a few weeks ago, it seems like. Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to take this new chapter in your professional career?
Yeah. So began my career as a CPA in public accounting and had sort of gone that route to really just build a foundational skill set in business, for lack of a better word, right? My dad is a personal tax CPA, had sort of instilled in me that sort of fiduciary mindset. And growing up, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? And becoming a CPA was the best way that I could build skills and abilities while I learned the world, for lack of a better, word.
Sure.
Um, and ultimately, at the end of my career as a CPA, I did a lot of soul searching. Wanted to start a business then, but didn't have any money, didn't have any ideas, had no real ability to just go start a company, right? And so ultimately made the decision to become a financial advisor with the end goal of, eventually building a business of size that I could spin out and fulfill that goal of being an entrepreneur, right? So, started my career with UBS, spent a number of years at UBS as a planner and a financial advisor, ultimately moved to Morgan Stanley, continued to build my own business there. And then, got to a point where it was like, all right, well, let's start thinking about the dream of being an entrepreneur and how do we make that happen.
Yeah.
And my business at that point was large enough that, certainly it was doable, but also small enough that I didn't spend a ton of time in a world where I didn't fully control it.
Sure.
Um,
And
and
Sam, my experience of starting AdvizorPro, I learned and I'm very grateful for. I had about 7 years at my previous company, eVestment, where I learned from the leaders of that company. And that gave me a lot of the skill set and confidence that I needed in order to start my own company. Did you kind of pick up a lot along the way that really gave you that confidence and that skill set you needed to do this next step?
yeah, I mean, definitely in terms of like the actual job itself as being like a wealth advisor, I've learned from a lot of great people without question. Um, you know, I never at this point sort of have questioned my ability to do the job itself. I know that sort of level of thought and um, planning and expertise that my clients get is great. It was just, could I go that step further and handle, running the business, which is, even though, as a financial advisor at a large firm, you're sort of running your own business, but you're not really. There's a lot more things that you have to take on, and it became about like, okay, can I handle all of that while still doing the job itself? And then continue to grow and create, careers for other people and things of that nature. And so, that I learned a lot from my family. My family is a family of entrepreneurs, and that's sort of always been in my blood. And nothing is without fear. Certainly nervous to take that on, but so far it's been great. I'll say that.
Great, congratulations. Tell me a little bit about your kind of maybe sweet spot of clients and the typical problems that you're trying to help them solve.
Yeah, so I named the company Tenacity Private Wealth for two reasons. Number one, wealth build. It's sort of it's really a double entendre, right? So like wealth building is a tenacious endeavor, right? It takes perseverance and resolve and grit to sort of continue to stick to the plan and stay with it through volatility. And so that's sort of one half. The other half is it's very reflective of myself and the career that I've been through to this point, having been through a lot of different ups and downs and just remembering to stick to it, right? To duck your head, do the work, be tenacious, right? Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And so I think, and in my time of doing that, that has resonated best with other business owners, right? And so my client base is a majority of, individual entrepreneurs, small business owners who, wear a lot of hats. They're both CEO and janitor, and they know what it means to just continue to put one foot in front of the other and continue to build and grow something. And that person needs a lot of support, right? They need support for their business. They need support for their family. They understand delegation. They know what it means to go out and create and build. But if they can have somebody supporting them, like a personal CFO on the back end, to sort of take that pressure off the financial piece, how great is that,
Yeah. And are there any maybe trends or things that you're seeing your clients coming to you more with questions on that they want a specific problem solved that, is maybe coming more and more to your attention?
Cash flow is always an interesting conversation. Mainly because, right, like a lot of business owners are sort of torn between, hey, I'm building the company and that takes a lot of my cash flow, versus I'm building my own personal wealth. And how do you sort of separate those two? And how do I not tie up all of my capital in the company should something happen
Hmm.
to that piece of it, which is both your income and your net worth? And so just having those conversations of, uh, you know, little things like dollar cost averaging and saving a little bit over time and continue to diversify assets, like really spending the time communicating with the business owner different ways to grow wealth that maybe doesn't fully require them to fully build on their own,
Sure.
and why that is valuable to them is
Yeah.
a big part of what we talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
To tell me a little bit, having started your new firm very recently, um, tell me a little bit about kind of what your goals are for the next 12 months.
Uh, well, so I brought on a partner to come work with me who's a CPA, has been doing taxes for 11 years.
Hmm.
I sort of convinced him that making the switch to wealth management would be I don't want to say a better career choice, because being a CPA is a great career choice, but would be one that is advantageous. And so I think over the next 12 months, a big part of the growth of Tenacity is getting him up to speed, getting the two of us out to, our existing networks in Columbus, and just letting them, connect on a level where they understand the broad range of advice that we're providing and the quality of people that they're working with, right? And
Yeah.
that was a big part of why I left, was the ability to hire who I wanted and getting to partner with who I wanted. And finding Mike as a partner was an amazing thing. And so I know that over the next 12 months, not only will the existing client base get the benefit from both of us, but in terms of what we can offer in continuing to grow the business, I think is going to turn out to be really special in the long run.
That's great. That's cool. That's really interesting to hear. So in terms of, being independent, you can choose your partners who you hire more easily. And also you have much more selection of course, in the software and the vendors, your tech stack, that you choose to utilize in your firm. Talk to me a little bit about how that process is going and you building your tech stack, and like, what are some of if there are any already kind of mission critical tools that you've already started to leverage?
Yeah, building a tech stack when you're coming from a wirehouse is a lot of fun, also terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
Because as you well know, there's a billion different options that you can explore. And so in starting Tenacity, I did a lot of sort of crowdsourcing to figure out, number one, what do I need? And then after that, what do I want to improve the experience for my client base? sort of the needs from a technology standpoint. Like I've always been a Money Guide Pro guy for my planning. That was the tool that I grew up in and know inside and out. And so I felt strongly about keeping Money Guide Pro as the planning tool. But after that, it's in terms of like CRM software and research and portfolio management, all of that is pretty new to me. We ended up landing on Advizon as our main tool for portfolio research and management. But in terms of, but I think that's going to be a longer term thing for me to continue to revisit and study what's available to continue to improve that experience for myself and clients, right? Like
Sure.
Again, back to the name Tenacity, I think I fully recognize that as early as this company is in, it's not going to be perfect, especially from the technology standpoint. But my personal mission for the company is that like we're going to work every day to make it better. And so, whatever cool technologies come out and we can test and see if it makes sense. Great. Is everything going to work? Probably not, but for me, it'll be fun to at least explore it because I've never had that option previously.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you're trying to find the unique recipe that's right for your specific flavor of clients, style of advising. And yeah, there's something like, I think over 400 advisor, tech shops in the Kitsis map today. So there's tons of selection, and I'm sure it's easy to fall into analysis paralysis. But the kind of crowdsourcing idea and learning from your peers sounds like a really smart way to approach it. Yeah. And then how about in terms of, so kind of along the growth lines, in terms of like scaling your business and your practice, kind of what's your strategy and plan there? You just mentioned you hired your partner recently, it was a CPA. Do you have any other plans to help you to be able to kind of expand your reach and your ability to offer your services to your clients while kind of maintaining that close personal touch with them at the same time?
Yeah, I think, in our current structure, the way that we run the practice is not overly administratively heavy. And so I think between the two of us, there's quite a bit of scale that can be achieved before we need to really approach that. But a big part of hiring Mike as the partner was, hey, you're an incredibly talented, smart individual now who has the skills and abilities to be an FA quickly. You just need to learn the business and get licensed and get your CFP and do all those sorts of things. And so, my commitment to him and vice versa was like, be the admin for now while you learn and grow in the business so that then you become a fully, weaponized FA 2-3 years down the road. And then we'll do that over and over again, right? Because, as a CPA, having come from public accounting, now hiring Mike, who's a CPA coming from public accounting, I think there's a lot of really, really talented young people out there that are incredibly personable, know how to sell, have incredible knowledge and experience in the business world, but don't know about the career of wealth management because they've been stuck in the accounting half of the world, that would love to get out of accounting, right? And so I think, the goal of growth for the company is, can we find people like that who are incredibly talented and smart and teach them what they need to be to become a successful FA, right? So my hope is in 2 years, Mike is killing it. We'll hire another Mike and we'll just keep doing that until, we can't grow anymore.
Yeah, that sounds like the perfect plan.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, hey, Sam, appreciate you taking the time to chat with us here a little bit and tell us about kind of your story and kind of what your plans are for going forward.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.